To the IFF TV podcast.
Hello, one of the Irish Football Fan TV. This is the instant match reaction. Myself, Paul Nealon, and Republic of Ireland have lost 3-2 to Serbia in Belgrade. Stephen Kenny's first World Cup game off to not a great start, but I will say in terms of the game, I thought the way we set up, obviously the big talking points before the game was Jeff Hendrick and Shane Duffy were left out, and bringing in Malumbi, Cullen, Darragh O'Shea in ahead of those players. So it was a kind of a new look team. It kind of had the makings of this is the team that Stephen Kenny wants to go with. This is him making a stamp. And if players aren't playing regularly at their club or whatever, that he isn't going to play them. Albeit you could say that Malumbi's not playing regularly at Preston. But the fact that Shane Duffy had been out injured and stuff like that, Darragh O'Shea was playing Premier League level, you could see why himself and Clark and Coleman all played. He went with the 3-5-2 as well, which I thought worked well in the first half. And you know, I thought we were looking really, really well in the first half. We obviously get our goal with a good bit of play by Callum Robinson and Enda Stevens, and then Callum whips in a nice cross. Stands it up, he doesn't whip it in, he stands it up. And Alan Brown heads home to give us a 1-0 lead, the first time we've scored in about 8 games. And I was delighted if that was Brown that got the goal, because he came in for a lot of stick-off fans and stuff like that. So I was delighted to see him get off the mark. And then, you know, at that point, we were knocking the ball around well. Looked like we were comfortable on the ball. We were, you know, getting in angles for each other. The defence wasn't panicking when they were playing the ball out. They were playing the ball. They weren't just hoofing it aimlessly up the pitch to then bring on another attack. They were trying to play football. I think in that aspect, this is what we've been asking for, is to see our team play football like this. And as well as that, you got to remember, we've had so many injuries, and the team went out and played like they did. We ultimately got caught. A good bit of play by Serbia. I mean, it was 3 little balls, a knock over the top, and next minute it was in our net. I actually thought it was a really good goal from their point of view. You know, people would say that was our fault defensively, but if we had scored that, we'd have been raving about it. So half time 1-1, you're thinking, okay, you know, this game isn't escaping us, but we, in the back of our minds, we were all thinking, well, they're going to bring on their classy players in the second half that they left on the bench, and that's what happened. We subbed off Malumbi and Connolly, lost that bit of energy. I do think Callum Robinson played really, really well. I thought Aaron was busy up top, but he didn't play as well as Robinson. And I thought, you know, Brown done well. I thought, we did the player ratings and we kind of went through the players and stuff like that. But they obviously get the second goal, and that was a real... Mark Travers was at fault for that goal, but that was a real sucker punch, because it didn't really look like their goal was coming. I know they were getting closer, because they had a Vlahovic, I think, had one offside and he put it in the net, so they were getting closer, but we were limiting them to stuff, and then, you know, they were fairly gifted a goal. I think Darragh O'Shea could have led him down the touchline or led him towards the corner flag, because Mitrovic isn't that quick, but it was a really good finish. Travers came out too far off his line when he didn't need to, and ultimately that's cost us in the end, really, hasn't it? So unfortunately for Mark, and I do think you learn from it. I don't think there's no point in being too critical towards him. He's a young lad, he's been thrown in the deep end because of injuries, and he was brought in to play that. So look, I'm not being too harsh on Mark Travers there. I think he will be a good goalkeeper in time, and everyone makes mistakes. It's just unfortunate that he's the goalkeeper that if you do make a mistake in goals, it leads to a goal more often than not. So at that point, you're thinking, okay, we need to try and get straight back into it. We didn't. Then Tadic was allowed all the time in the world to pick out Mitrovic, and then he gets his second goal, and it's 3-1. Then you're thinking there's no way back here. You know, I think when Hendrick came on, we lost that energy, because Malumbi was giving us a lot of energy, getting around, getting in their faces. But I don't think Hendrick brings that. You know, he tries to get on the ball, but then doesn't really make things happen, unfortunately. Josh Cullen was getting busy, but I thought we got overrun then when Malumbi went off the pitch. I thought Josh Cullen was overrun in midfield, and that's where the game was lost. Tadic whips in that ball, Mitrovic gets the goal. 3-1 at that point, and then Stephen Kenny makes substitutions. He brings Shane Long on for Aaron Connolly, then he brings on McLean, Robbie Brady and James Collins and mixes the system, and we get a goal back from a good bit of play by Shane Long not to give up on a ball that was kind of just pumped into the box by Robbie Brady. He done well not to give up on it, and then James Collins gets the goal. At that point, look, I think we showed a lot of good character to not give up, to try and stay in the game, but you can see that they brought on quality compared to what they had on their bench compared to what we had on ours. It was night and day, and that's what we had to be wary of. I said it on the watch along. I think when it comes into the second half, we're going to have to be wary of what way they play now, and who they bring on. And then they were still bringing on Jovic and that at the same time. I think our lads done well. We got 2 goals. There's definitely positives to build on there. Serbia are a better side than us, especially with our injuries and stuff like that. I think the lads gave a good account of themselves. I think people may be being too harsh. I haven't even had a look online yet to see what people are saying. But look, other than Mark Travers' mistake and maybe the fact that no one closed down Tadic for the 3rd goal, I think the rest of the game I thought we did quite well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, we have plenty more content coming over the next couple of days as well. Look, it's unfortunate, but the signs there that we're starting to do good things, even with limited players. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe.